Irving.
How about
Luka's like in the picture.
Let's go back to the game angle.
It was Kyrie. That was Kyrie.
Watch Luka on this.
Luka, okay, all right. We're gonna
watch Luka one more time.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see how Luka does if he fills in here.
Okay. Luka is right now. He's supposed to be guarding the screener.
Okay.
That's what I don't know what that is. Is that are they switching?
I don't know. Maybe
they don't know either.
It ended up with a huge dunk. I'm sure Luka did everything right again. Wonderful. Back to Kansas City, but this time it's for the Yankees. Oh my goodness, the Yankees like hitting home runs in Kansas City. I don't know if you want to change your ballpark. Call it Yankees.
They like hitting in an adult-sized ballpark, not 314 to right field. Where you feel that, you know what? That's not ethical home run hitting, is it?
Yankees win 11-5. Game's going on right now. Weird. Kyrie. You know, Kyrie has gotten so many guys lost on offense. This it's a tough one, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, he did play well offensively. I mean,
okay.
I'll give him that. He needed his 35. He got his 35.
6/12, Tom Brady Day in Foxborough. Big ceremony, but this is what I went with. Tom Brady signing an autograph of a small goat. Some people would say baby goat. Patriots retire number 12 later in the day. Jay-Z plays miniature concert in the daytime. A little tricky.
Wow.
Yeah, daytime concert. Weird. Rangers up 2 on the Dodgers in the 9th. Hayward to the gap. 1 run scores. So you're going to try to score another one, and the third base coach is like, stop, please stop. You see his hand, he's like, no, man, I'm going to be the hero. And actually, you're not. You're going to end the game. Out, game over.
Oh.
And finally, back to minicamp. You know, when Lamar Jackson had Hollywood Brown, he was mediocre. But now that Mahomes has him, watch out.
He'll be mediocre.
You think so?
You think? You think, bro?
I think he'll be solid.
T-shirt bet.
Mediocre solid.
T-shirt bet.
That's a weird wonderful from the national pastime. Drew Holiday has been spectacularly solid. Last night, 9-4-5, great defense, has yet to turn the ball over this series, and on the verge of earning his second ring. Joel Embiid weighing in on Twitter last night, saying, hold on, did the Bucks give them, the Celtics, the championship? Brew your reaction.
Look, I like Joel. First of all, I think I need Joel to be healthy for a playoff series before he weighs in.
He's not allowed to
Okay,
tweet something interesting.
He took a shot. He took a shot. All right, that's all. That's not an observation. Of course, he can make observations. He took a shot in Dave Dollar. He took a shot in Dave Dollar.
Can I just say something real quick? You know who had that exact take 6 hours ago? DeMonze on the What's Right podcast. So Brew and DeMonze locked in on the Joel Embiid.
I'm just saying, if I'm Dave Dollar, I'm laying out on the beach, thinking of rhymes and all that, putting something together.
Yeah.
Yes, right. And then I see Joel take a shot.
Okay.
Look, Drew is perfect, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and say without him, because obviously they still might have got Porzingis and Derek White. They couldn't be here, especially with everybody else hurt in the conference. But remember, when they had Marcus Smart, who was a great defender himself, obviously Defensive Player of the Year one year, he was not a point guard, though, not a true point guard. So at the end of games, Brown and Tatum would have the ball in their hands, and they made a lot of turnovers.
Yep.
Now Drew is a true point guard. So that's for everybody's talking about the defense, which is great, but that is key. He can settle them down when they need to be. It doesn't have to be in the 2 wing players' hands all the time. So that's huge. And he's selfless. All right, he's averaged 19 points a game total for like the last 6 years. And he's averaged 12 this year. Mm-hmm. All right, what I will say, though, is this. Milwaukee, which is probably being crushed right now for, they gave up Drew. Drew didn't play well last year when they lost in the first round to Miami.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler demolished him, just made mincemeat out of him on defense. And then Drew shot 40% from the floor, 28% from 3. Last 3 games, he shot 33%.
Drew struggled offensively the whole time.
Right, and they needed offense, right? So they were like, Giannis, we can't go to him at the end of the game necessarily. Middleton's hurt a lot. Let's go get a closer and a great scorer.
That made sense.
Dame. So, now we can look back in hindsight, but it was a good move at the time.
So listen, the day Milwaukee traded for Dame, we all loved it.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it. So that I think can't be revised. We can't do revisionist history on that. You're clearly not. The question is this. Would Milwaukee have made that trade if they knew Drew was going to get rerouted to Boston?
Oh, that's a good question.
And I think the answer is probably no. I think they felt for what we need, Dame is better for us than Drew would be. But it's not because they thought Drew stunk. It's not because they didn't think Drew was a useful player. And they did it because one of the teams they needed to make sure they get past was Boston. And they didn't think Drew was going right. They sent him west. They didn't. This is where Brad Stevens deserves a ton of credit, is for immediately seizing on that and getting Drew Holiday. So we said this after game 1 when Drew, or game 2, whatever game Drew had that great game. I showed you on my notes where I had written down, do the Bucks deserve a ring for the Celtics winning a championship? If they do, I just don't think the Bucks would have done it if they knew, hey, in a week he ends up with Boston. So that, to me, I think Embiid's take is a good take. And I don't think his knee issues or playoff failure should mean he can't give sports takes.
Joel, he better be in the weight room on this.
Right. Nick, are you ready to admit that you and Brew underestimated the Celtics? You can answer for yourself.
Yes. And I have been blown away by their defensive execution. And the fact that their best, most decorated player, even last night, is still struggling.
Yeah.
And the idea that it's not like, oh, he knows he's struggling, so he's deferring. He's taken 15 more shots than anyone on the team. He's gunning, and it's not, he's not scoring. And the fact that they have, I talked about questioning their depth past Horford. How every minute Hauser's given them has been a good one. And damn, Tillman comes in off the bench and plays good defensively and does that.
Hits a three.
Right. And so I absolutely underestimated that I was wrong that the Celtics wouldn't be ready for the degree lifting competition. I did slough off to a degree their gaudy regular season record because I don't think they have the guy the way that every other great team has the guy or historically great team. And defensively, in my opinion, this is a tour de force team defense performance. So yes, that is not a straw man. That is fair. I missed it on them, and it's not for lack of watching it. It's because I'm like, yeah, but in a series, I think Tatum might look like this. And he did, and it doesn't matter, which speaks to the depth of the overall team. And Mazzulla, who I've been a huge critic of, has done a hell of a job. That's where I come out.
And obviously, I underestimated them as well and have been all year. And Joe Mazzulla, I have put him on the hot seat a few times.
The Butler's hot seat, yeah.
Several times. But Joe Mazzulla deserves a contract extension. He's only got 3 years, $14 million left on his deal. J.J. Redick's probably going to get more than that. Give this man a raise. All right, I like Joe. I like Joe now. Okay. I like the press conferences. I like your demeanor. All of it, Joe. I did underestimate them also, like you said. They don't have a Luka, a Giannis, a Embiid if he's ever healthy. A Joker. And typically those are the teams that do win championships. We've talked about now, are they more like the 04 Pistons? That was the last team. The 04, that was 20 years ago.
What about the 08 Celtics? Because
I don't think any of these. We'll see in time. But Garnett, Pierce, and Ray, and at that point, they were far more veteran than these guys are. Yeah. So I would say that. But I did think the three-point reliance would bite them at some point. It hasn't because of the defense. They're only shooting 34% from three.
Right.
But their defense is so stout that they're getting it done. So credit to the Boston Celtics. This team is playing phenomenal. Yeah. So I just want to, I definitely underestimate them.
All right, so they're 79-20, 15-2 in the postseason. They haven't lost since May 9th. If they go 80-20, I think I have this right. The last team to go 80-20 was the 86-87 Lakers, like prime Showtime Lakers. Yeah. So on paper,
well, 80 is that. What about the 72-win Bulls?
No, so that's.
I know they didn't go 80-20, but you're talking about exactly 80-20.
Exactly.
He means exactly 80.
Exactly.
He's not saying nobody's done it. He's saying the last team to put up that exact number.
Yes. So is that fair? Because on paper it is.
So here's what I think, and I know we're going to talk more about if they're historically great or not later. I will use the 04 Pistons as an example again. Which I think Brew was the first one to say it, but the 04 Pistons are considered as a great story that had a massive upset, but a bit of a one-off. The next year they were in Game 7 of the finals. Obviously, I think it was it Game 6 or Game 7 that Sheed didn't guard.
They could have won that series.
Right. If they had won, and then after that, they went to 3 straight conference finals, but they didn't break through again. If they had won that next year, we would think more highly of the 04 team.
Absolutely.
And so I will use the Nuggets of last year as an example. The Nuggets of last year have one all-time great player, but not an overwhelming supporting cast. If they had won the title again this year, we would think about them, oh, that's an all-time team. You know what I mean? Like, it's one
Certainly
star,
in
but
discussion.
build all of it. I don't think when you actually make the list of the all-time teams that I'm comfortable yet putting, and when we're talking all-time, we're talking about like top 25 champions of all time? Sure, maybe. But if we're talking top 10, the top 10 teams, no. And I know they have the record of like fringe top 10, but to me, no. The answer to that is no.
And look, a part of why I underestimated them too was we've seen them fail so much. And not just they're getting close, but they can't break through. I'm not just talking about 22 finals when they lost to Golden State. I'm talking about going out in the first round to teams. I'm talking about losing to Miami time and time again.
But
like,
do you view this
Brooklyn
team like maybe Drew is like the line
well,
of the sand?
Drew and Kristaps.
but the core was Tatum and Brown. And so that played into my thinking too. Like they just haven't been able to get over the hump.
And that's what Brown said, by the way, after the game was. Like, we've been all year hearing about the last 8 years, but that we're a different team. And they are. Like, they are. They deserve credit.
Lakers coaching search next on FS1 Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM. Oh, this actually looks cool, to be honest with you. It looks strong there.
Very strong, obviously.